Hey, what's up, Skywalker with Imagination Creation Films, and today we're talking about this, the sun. Well, maybe not the sun, but sun. This son of a sun will stun the fun out of your buns. So before we get started, a little housekeeping. Nanlux did send this over to me to honestly see if I could break it. But no money has changed hands, and Nanlux has no say whatsoever in the review, so you can rest assured that you'll get the same old, fair, lovable, honest review as always. So if the thought of me standing only in like a suit coat performing a dramatic reading makes you laugh, you thought I was going to be, no. Well, subscribe and maybe I will. I appreciate you subscribing. No, we're not going to do that. So this is the Nanlux Evoke 2400b bicolor LED light, and it's kind of incredible to demonstrate actually. But let's go over the specs first. It's a bicolor light with a plus-minus magenta green, big boy here, and it was designed to do one thing, and that's punch through a window like the Kool-Aid Man and have enough extra to diffuse it just a little bit. I said window. You see, this right here, this is why aliens won't visit us. So it's a bicolor fixture that can range in Kelvin from 2700 to 6500. So although it doesn't appear to have a huge range, it covers from before tungsten to beyond daylight. It's built like a tank, and we're gonna go through this quite a bit in detail. What I want you to see, you know what? No. Let me give you a demonstration at night. Good evening. I would now like to perform a dramatic reading. It is not slight. It is not light. It is not weak. It's rather bright. It can add or subtract magenta to green. It's not warm or cold. It's brightest in between. It has a detector right on the connector to prevent eye specter if you forgot your reflector. Like an M40 open, it can light up the space, but on a 20 amp circuit, you can find most any place. It does weigh a little, don't lift with your back, but it's only 33 pounds, so it's not a lot to unpack. It has a selectable input to match any plug. Your Jenny will sit silent, and sound will be all smug. With two giant fans, it's quiet and cool. With an IP55 rating, can handle some drool. Use ArtNet, DMX, or Bluetooth with your apps. It's power in your palm. It's a fixture that slaps. Look, it's one of a kind, so take it from me. If you want the most flexible option, it's the Evoke 2400b. Thank you. I forgot I filmed that. I apologize. Let's talk about the light instead. So this is the Nanlux Evoke 2400b, and it is a 2400 watt bicolor with plus minus magenta shift in there. So you can, fix those subtle little problems or correct that kind of green that tends to happen on LEDs over time. Use that little magenta, take away that green. It is a rock solid light. You can tell just how solid this light is. I mean, it is a beast of a light. Now, gonna be hard to kind of demonstrate that in here, but I'm gonna do my best. First off, it's on a solid yoke, and the yoke is reversible. You just push the button, pull that down. Did I say button? That always cracks me up when people say button. pull that down, do the other side, and you can just lift this straight up out and reverse it around, and then just lock it right back in. It has on the front, let's just spin that around. You spin me right around. Has a giant reflector, and this is the 45-degree reflector that basically comes with it. Now, as a pull latch, and then you can, this is what my face looks like with a 45-degree reflector. It is a very large COB. I mean, it is very large. And you shouldn't let that scare you, because the cool thing about this light is you can back it up just a little bit out of that window and punch straight through, and you'll get sharp shadows. It's also an intelligent mount up here. This is not a Bowens mount. It is Nanlux's big boy version of a Bowens. And you can see here, these are actual pins that line up with pins here. And that is so that you can't, well, accidentally, let me just move this out the way. So you can't accidentally light it up with the reflector off and, you know, blind everybody under the sun. Now you can disable that in the menu. Let's go through the controls. You have dim control right here, which goes from 0.1 all the way up to 100%. I want you to notice this. It says 1700 watts. And why does it say that? Well, let me bring up the ballast, because the ballast it's not very big. It's actually very small compared to other ballasts on the market for competing lights. And there's a very quiet fan. On the back, there are just connectors for power. There's a power switch, and that's it. It's built like a tank, but what I want to show you is, see, that says 1700. This says 1700, 15 amps. You can go, and now it switches over to 2200s on a 20 amp circuit. And now we got full 20 amps, and I can dim it down, and it's surprising how much that little 20 amps will do. Let me put this down here, and let me put this down so that I can talk a little bit more detail. I mean, this is the size of it. It does weigh quite a bit, not horrible though. And it does mount right onto your stand with the included clip that I just don't have on here because I have a very short stand, so I can show you the menu without, you know. Yeah. So we have the dimmer, we have the color temperature right here, which you can adjust all the way from 2700 to 6500. And then this is your plus minus green. Now you have right here, we have Smart Fan, which we can access in here by the menu system. And you can see we have, this is the modifier recognition right here. You click on that, it says on. That means that if I take this off, it won't light up. But if I turn it off, then it will bypass it. Something to note. You got DMX in here. Now, output mode, we've got max output and then constant output. And we're on max output. And if you don't know what that means, constant output means that it will be as bright from 2700 as it will be to 6500. But max output will, as it adds both of those, it will allow it to get brighter. And this thing actually favors a little more of the daylight. So it's actually brighter at 5500 with the output set to full, to max output, than it is on constant. So it's always good to just kind of leave it on there. It does have Bluetooth, and it does have a wireless remote, and you can do DMX. You've got ArcNet and SACN. So you do have DMX on here with both DMX in and out. You have wireless control, which is Bluetooth or 2.4 gigahertz. You have ArtNet or SACN right here. And we have fan control, which we can turn on right here. We have full speed, and that's full speed. It's there. It's noticeable. You can hear it. And on Smart, it will ramp it up and down as needed based upon the requirements of cooling. And if you choose Smart, it will tell you that it's switched to Smart and max power is at 100%. But if you go in and you change it to, say, low speed, now your max output is 50%. So keep that in mind. I tend to leave it on Smart because, it's nice. But if you want that constant sound, which you're not really going to hear it because this light is never going to be close to you. It's way too bright. You can also go down to off. If you set it to off, it's going to kill the fan, but your output is cut to 15%. So keep that in mind. If you have to absolutely have it quiet, but honestly, I leave it on Smart, and it just cranks. It's super easy. You can rotate the screen if it's upside down. You can change the screen brightness and the button backlight, and change the language and reset and all the good things. It's very simple. It's very easy. You have color temperature right here. You've got effects, which have the built-in effects just like you would normally see. You've got lightning and all the various things. And then you can lock out your screen. There's a ton you can say about this light, and there's a ton to try to convey this light, and that's the issue. Now, I wish I had more shoots that this was on that I could share something from. Sadly, I can't. Work has been slow, and the ones that I have used it on, I don't get to show anything, unfortunately, sadly. But I did use it on my own shoot, punching through a window, which you can see here, for my salt and pepper, my Scotty Smoky Salt and Pepper. It is really capable of gorgeous light through the window. And let me tell you, it's not like you're having to shoot wide open on your camera. I had ND on there. It was so incredibly bright coming through that window. I loved it. It was amazing. And it was the sun. It was literally the sun. And then, of course, the outdoor dramatic reading, I wanted to demonstrate it at Blue Hour. Unfortunately, the wind was blowing at Blue Hour, and I couldn't get that shot at Blue Hour because the sky would have been lit up a little bit better. The forest would have been lit up a little bit better. But this light shooting at about, I think we're about 4,000 Kelvin, shooting through an 8x with a full grid on it. And it was fairly far away from me, but I wanted a nice soft look on me. It didn't do a whole lot for the background. And the main reason is I didn't want to mix lights. I wanted to have a couple of other Nanlux lights in the back, but I didn't have any others at the time that I did that one. So I didn't light the back, but I want you to see how bright that was. And I'm at T5.6. That's pretty incredible. It's a serious, powerful light, and it will compete with the sun. Unfortunately, so my skin, it won't compete with the sun, as you could see. It was a little too much bounce there, if you know what I'm saying. Well, not that kind of bounce. Don't get your mind out of the gutter. No. So the Nanlux 2400b comes with a giant trunk, and you can kind of see it right back behind me. It is a trunk on dolly wheels. It's huge. But this thing is built for the rental market. It's really built for bigger and biggest production. That's a stupid way of saying it. It's really built for big shoots. We can all take like a 1200 or a 900 or a 600 and punch through a window and get our shot off. But when you can punch through with 2400 watts it's incredible. But, I mean, it's just the way it's built. This thing is going to take a beating day in, day out. And if you're in a rental market where you're renting this thing out, you're going to make some money on this, because this light is going to be around for a long time. I've been playing with this since November. It's been a while, and I really wanted to do the review with some of these other shoots, and it was just annoying that I never could get that done. I'm sorry. The dramatic reading is what you get. The sunlight shot is what you get. But I wanted you to get a review from me on this light. Now we're at 5600. We are at, let's see where we're at here. What are we at brightness wise? There we go, 2200. So we're going to be at full brightness here. I'm just going to point at this wall so you can get a sense of how bright this is. Now, I am at T28 right here. It's my normal room in here. It's a 0.1%. Sorry, Rex. And there's the background. So it kind of looks like Cocoon. It is excessively bright inside, but it's very manageable as well, because that is not this. That is my stand. Oddly enough, you can actually go through that fake window there and punch through it. I did it, and it was just too much. I really wanted to demonstrate a full output. It was so much coming through that window that it made no sense in here. It was kind of fun. So yeah, what are the pros and cons? Pros, it is solid. They do have new reflectors for it. They have a powered Fresnel for it now. It's got some of the beefiest heavy gauge wire connections I've seen, in a long time. It is controllable by every kind of system that you would want. Wireless control, that is DMX and ArtNet and so many others. One other. It's a punchy light. That's a pro for you. Cons. The case is rather large. It is a light. It is a big case with a big light in it. So do keep that in mind. It's not UPS shippable. You're not shipping it that way. So you're going to be, loading it up. It does have 4 casters on it, and it rolls nicely. These reflectors are necessarily rather large. I can't say that the price is a negative, because it's not intended for ultra budget studios or ultra budget uses, because it is around $7,000 for this light. That is not insignificant in the world out there. However, compare this to an M18, which it readily compares with no issues at all. M18 is like $18,000. So spending $7,000, not so bad. I think it's a little more than $7,000. I'm trying to remember right off the top of it. But it's a very solid unit. I wanted to get you a review out. Here's your review. So hopefully you got more out of this than you did out of the dramatic reading. But if not, I may not ever do that again. So you're welcome. So what do you think about the Nanlux? And, I've showed it on the live streams before and many, many times over the last year.
But what do you think about it? Have you had a chance to use it? Are you interested in this? Let me know in the comment section down below. I really, really want to know. And remember to like and subscribe to the channel because, you care. And if you'd like to support the channel, you can buy the Nanlux through B&H down below. B&H has been a great partner with this channel for the last year plus, and we really do appreciate them. And it's a great light to purchase from them. Or if you want to really stand out, you could become a channel member like these fine individuals. And as always, as I like to leave it, don't let your passions center around your life. Let your life center around your passions.